What's going on, guys? I appreciate you joining me on the Civility Mindset channel. Today I brought my son's AR-15 Smith & Wesson M&P. This thing is pretty awesome. Not sure if you guys have seen my other videos on it. I've done some shooting with it in other videos. I've not dedicated one to this, and I'm not gonna, to be honest with you. This isn't that kind of gun. But this is an awesome weapon, and if you have seen it in action, it shoots very, very well. Maybe one day I will do a shooting video on it only. But I don't think it's, no offense to Smith & Wesson M&P, but I don't think it's kind of worth that. This is just more of one of those things. Let somebody else who have done that already do it. I'm just going to give you my take on it, because there's many videos out there that can show you how it works. There's no need for me to do the same thing and follow the crowd, right? But I just put on a handguard that was specific to the left side, and a hand stop that is from Strike Industries. And then I have Magpul, what is it, the MK2 or something like that, K2 Plus. So it's the K2 Plus, which instead of it going more to the back, this actually drops downward, and it's a much more comfortable grip when you're like me and you want to have everything kind of tucked in real tight, right? Then I found at a gun show at Oaks, found some mags that were FDE, and I thought that was pretty awesome, so I threw it on there. Magpul flip up front sight, because the eye relief and everything, it's kind of perfect where it's at, and I can't put anything on here in the rear, which I wouldn't, and I really wouldn't put it in the front. I think that's stupid, and it also just kind of looks dumb. You could just use, if it were to go out, your optics completely out, you can use the ring of death to kind of center, and just use that as a point of reference at that point. Anyway, so I'm going to tell you guys, one, how many rounds went through this before failure, which it really didn't fail, but it was just starting to get weird. And then I'm going to show you the optics in a small little video, and I'll continue. Matter of fact, I'll do that right now. And once we come back, I'll tell you about what went down with how many rounds were in it.
All right, so as you guys can see, the red dot sees, pretty damn clear, right? So that's your normal optic use, right? Now, I'm going to use the magnification scope just to see just how clear and how far you can see with this magnification scope. This is pretty easy, or excuse me, this isn't easy, so please bear with me. But I know you guys can see the dot here, and you can see it's very clear, like the glass is crystal on this thing. I actually love Sig's ability to capture a good sight picture with this optic. So let me go ahead and stop this here, and then I'll get the magnification scope in. All right, so now the magnification scope is down, and I'm going to have to tilt this a little bit and try to find, there we go. So as you can see, this thing sees pretty well. Let me see if I can just find, there we go. I mean, I don't know about you, but that's pretty decent. There is no magazine in here, as you can see, and there's no ammo in here, so that school bus is completely fine. But anyway, so as you can see, this is not a bad magnification scope at all for what you're getting. You're getting like $200, under $200, and I can literally make out that American flag right there, right? So I can, I don't know if it's an American flag, honestly, but it's a flag, right? So I can see that there's a rock right there, or some kind of, I don't know, white, whatever, right? I can see that there's a no parking sign right there. I mean, you can make out pretty much anything and everything that you need to make out here. And for under $200, this Romeo and Juliet mount is not bad. Sorry if, this thing keeps going in and out of focus, but that's not the That's not the optics fault, that is the camera's fault, right? So here, let me see if I can zoom in or see if I can make this a little clearer. There we go, that works. Oh, son of a... So again, no parking, right? We got tree here, home here, 1, 2, 3, 4 vehicles, 5, 6 vehicles. So you can see into the passenger and or driver side windows. This thing is awesome. I mean, people who hate on this optic setup usually just, they're only hating because they were told to hate, or they just don't know any better and they're ignorant to this this optic setup. But for what you get, I mean, come on, you see there's clearly your data stuff right here for your house, right? So your meters, right? All that. I mean, that's pretty decent. I don't know about you guys, but for under $200, that's a pretty good magnification scope and red dot. But anyway, guys, so that's it for this one right here. I'm gonna close this out right here.
So now that you guys saw that video from the optics are awesome. I actually love this, and you cannot purchase for this. I wouldn't put $1,000 optics on it. I wouldn't put anything really that serious on this. So to me, this Romeo and Juliet option is perfect for something like this. It's good and it's rated for 5.56, but now that I have my LPVOs and 45 offsets on my other weapons, this one got jumped to here, and to me, this is absolutely perfect for it. But anyway, so I told you guys how many I was going to tell you about the rounds. So the rounds that I put in here, I use either Blazer ammo and or Winchester. Worked perfectly for this. I think it was like about 2,200 rounds, something like that. It was honestly perfect. This thing did not malfunction maybe but once or twice. Then once it started to get there, it started to malfunction. Now, keep in mind, I also did not clean it every single time I went out until it got to around that failure point where I started to see failure to feeds and a few failure to feeds and feeding issues. Other than that, this thing is solid, and it was still working. I was just getting 2 or 4 or 6 of them instead of having a free flow of ammunition just constantly going in and out of the weapon. So after around 2,000 rounds, you're going to see somewhat of a failure point, which to me honestly is not a failure point if it still continues to work. Just every once in a while you might get a jam or a failure of some way. 2,000 rounds without cleaning is super irresponsible. So if somebody were to do that, I would hope that it would jam on them. Because, I don't know, every single time I get home and I'm done with rifles or pistols or what have you, I clean my stuff. So that is something that I would implore you to do. Don't go doing what I do. I just take things to the failure point to kind of see where they're at and then never do it again. So if I ever had to, I would know what it can go to, what it can be managed with. And if I had to use this as a battle rifle, until knowing that I was going to maybe take another rifle from a commie, right? So who knows? An invasion happens and I somehow only got this bad boy. Well, I'm going to make it work. So anyway, no Red Dawn situations with a 22, hopefully. But anyway, great rifle and great optic setup. I really hope you guys get this thing and you go out and you train and practice. And this is also super cost effective. You take this out, you spend $50 on 500 rounds and you're getting the same reps, repetitions, manipulations. You're doing a bunch of stuff that you would normally do and nowhere near the cost. So just keep that in mind. But anyway, guys, I love you. Get out there and train. Be safe. Peace.